What's going on, guys? Welcome to the final video in the series I'm doing on building a budget arsenal. This is going to be building a budget arsenal on $500. And I got to tell you, this is going to be really hard to do. In fact, this is an updated video I did 4 years ago, which obviously because of prices and the market and everything else needed to be updated. But even 4 years ago, this was a very hard video to do because it was very hard to come up with 3 guns that you could pick up, all 3 of them, for $500. And it's even more difficult today. Now, I'm going to show you the 3 guns that I will recommend. I'm not going to show you, I'm going to tell you about them because 2 of them I don't own. But honestly, if you only have $500 to spend, the 3-gun solution is not what I would recommend. I'll go into what that is, but let's talk about the 3 guns first. First is obviously going to be a Mosin-Nagant. Now, if you only have $500 to spend and you're determined to get a shotgun, a rifle, and a pistol, the Mosin-Nagant is really the only option you have for getting a good rifle. You can find them for $200. It is going to be difficult because right now the going price is about $250. But I have seen them at pawn shops. I do occasionally see them online at places like JG Sales, Aim Surplus, stuff like that. They're going to be in rough shape, don't get me wrong, but they're going to be functional. They're going to work. They're going to be reliable rifles. You can find Mosin-Nagants for $200, and of course that would be my cap for your rifle on a $500 budget is going to be $200. Now, when it comes to a shotgun, really, the only thing you can be guaranteed to pick up in the shotgun world for a good, decent price that's going to work into this $500 total budget is going to be a break-action shotgun that's going to run you in the $120 to $150 range. So that's going to be your cap is $150, right? Now, occasionally, I know I've done this. You can walk into a pawn shop and find a $150 or less pump-action shotgun. It can be had, but it's not the norm. So if you want to keep your eyes open for something like that, that's great. But I'd say if you are looking for something that you know you can pick up for $150 or less, you're probably going to end up going with a break action shotgun. So that's going to be your rifle and your shotgun, $200 for your Mosin, $150 for your shotgun. That leaves you $150 for a pistol. Now, the only pistol out there on the market that you can pick up for $150 that I would even recommend, yes, there are some cheap $100 to $120 guns out there, whether it's Jimenez or Cobra or whatever, but those are crap. I would never, ever recommend somebody buy that as their go-to pistol. But I would recommend a High Point, and you can get them for $150. You can pick them up new for, I think, $159.99. You can definitely find them on sale occasionally at places for $150 or less. You can definitely find them on the used market for $150 or less. I see them all the time. So, yes, they're ugly. Yes, they're single stack semi-autos, so they have less capacity than your standard semi-auto, but I've owned 2 of them over the years. I've shot many of them, and yes, as I said, they're ugly, but they work, they function. You can look up torture tests all over YouTube on High Points, and they work. So if you're sticking to that 3 guns for $500, those are going to be my recommendations. Mosin-Nagant, probably a break-action shotgun, and a High Point, whether it's a C9 or whatever. Those are really going to be your only options for coming in at $500 or less. Now, let's take a look at what I really think you should get if you're talking about spending $500 on some guns. All right, and here we are. When it comes to building an arsenal on $500, in this day and age, I don't recommend going with a 3-gun solution. I recommend going with a 2-gun solution, a good shotgun and a good pistol. Because quite honestly, any rifle that you're going to try and get, if you've only got a $500 budget and you're trying to get even one other gun as well, is not going to be that great of a rifle. But you can get a good shotgun pretty damn cheap, and my recommendation is going to be the Maverick 88. I know, no surprise. If you watch my channel, you know I like the Maverick 88. It is essentially a Mossberg 500 that you can pick up for $200, sometimes less. Now, yes, for $200, you're probably going to get one that's got a field barrel, although you can find a security model, but that's okay, because this one right here, I've had for years. Picked it up for $180, okay? And this had a field barrel, and I've turned it into more of a defensive style shotgun. Chopping the barrel off cost me absolutely nothing. Got a stock here, I don't remember, it cost me probably $30 give or take, changed out the front end, which you don't even have to do if you don't want. Add a side saddle and you've got a good home defense style setup that you pay $200 or less for. I mean, it's a really, really good option, a really good deal, and you don't even have to look on the used market to find them at that price. That's brand new price, $200 or less for a shotgun like this. So that's gonna be your cap. $500 to spend, you need a good shotgun, you need a good pistol, cap yourself off at $200 for the shotgun. Now, when it comes to pistols, all right, you're going to cap yourself off at obviously $300 because you've already spent $200, you only got $500. Basic math, $300 or less on a pistol. Now there's a lot of guns out there you can pick up for that $300 or less on the used market. And it depends on which way you want to go. I recommend sticking to either good used guns, find some good used revolvers. I've got this one right here. Now, a few years ago, I picked it up for, I want to say, I think it was about $225. This is a Taurus Model 65, and in fact, I think this one actually showed up in the first video I did 4 years ago, talking about a $500 budget. I don't really remember. This was one of the guns I talked about. But again, you can still pick them up. Now, you won't be able to pick one up in this condition. This one was actually in really good condition, and with today's prices being what they are, this one's probably going to cost you more like $350 or so. But you can find some good used revolvers in that $300 or less price range. Also, the Smith & Wesson SD series. I see them go on sale at some of these big box retailers, whether it be your sporting goods stores, even Walmart sometimes, that will put the Smith & Wesson SD series pistols on sale for like $279.99. It's not all the time, but you can find them if you look. I think average price for the Gen 1 SD series is $299. It's right at $300. Also, Taurus Millennium Series pistols sell again in that $279 to $299 range, and that's just regular price. Okay, so there are some good options out there that are going to hit that $300 or less price point. So that's going to be my recommendation, my real recommendation for a $500 budget. Get yourself a good shotgun and a good pistol, even if it's on the used market. Maverick 88, Taurus, Smith & Wesson, whatever it is, and that's going to be the best bang for your buck if you got a $500 budget.